Hi guys, today is cooking day. Welcome to those of you who have been saying that you envy people who are married, or you wish you were married. You can't wait for the day that you can find your Prince Charming and get married. Ha! Let me show you what marriage is. This is marriage. King Edward potatoes. Half a bag. Large bag, King Edward potatoes. Knife, water, spare bowl. That is it. That's marriage. Welcome to marriage. Welcome to marriage, people. This is it. No sugarcoating. This is it. Yes. Are you ready for this? Those of you guys who hate being in the kitchen, I don't know, 24 hours, did you what? Yes, clothes are still drying behind the bicycle over there on the radiator. That was laundry in the morning. This is marriage. The way that you guys... So, welcome to my show, people. We're peeling potatoes. I'm just about to make what they call here Sunday roast, which is basically everyday roast for us because it's the easiest way to cook. I discovered that cooking with an oven is the easiest way to cook over here in this country because I don't have to stand over the stove forever. So I bought myself a rice cooker, and of course we have an oven which always comes, you know, with the house, or maybe you can get them quite reasonably priced second-hand shops. But anyway, welcome to my channel, guys. My name is African Queen Mo, or Mo on the go. Right now I'm in the kitchen peeling potatoes because that's the job that I actually assigned myself to when I said I do. When I was wearing my nice dress and looking all glamorous, I had no idea I'm going to end up behind a chair peeling potatoes. Yes, this is it. So, yes, anyway, I don't want to underestimate the value of this work. It's very important to feed your family healthy food. And me coming from the Kikuyu tribe, my poor husband is a West African who eats potatoes now. He never used to really understand. The kids are like, what is this? Yeah, they're getting used to eating potatoes also. Yeah. So I'm African Queen Mo. I live in Wales. I'm currently in Cardiff and really enjoying my life here in Cardiff. I enjoy it. I make sure that I'm not a complainer. I'm not one of those people who complain about every single thing in the world. Yeah, so I prefer to look at things positively. You have a choice how you look at life, whether you're going to look at it positively or negatively, or, you know, be a bearer of bad news. I know bad news always sells, guys, but hey, let's try and think positive. So how has your week been? I'm recovering from a cold, for those of you who have no idea. I'm recovering from a very sore throat. And so I'm here peeling King Edward potatoes. They look just like the Nyandarua potatoes that I see in Kenya. I don't see any difference. I don't see King Edward anywhere near here. I don't see any gold over here sitting on a throne. I'm not sitting on a throne. I'm sitting on a wooden chair. That's almost breaking, in fact. Yeah, they just look like Nyandarua potatoes. They just look like my village potato. But these ones have to be branded British potatoes. And I'm soon going to be making some British chicken. These guys, man, they take their branding to another level. Another one. So, anyway, guys, so I just thought to myself, why don't I just vlog what I do, you know, in the kitchen. So, I was just actually watching a video about Prince Harry. This thing is a very sensitive thing, yeah, talking about Prince Harry. Because Prince Harry, he's treated like a second-class citizen in his own family. It's terrible, terrible. There's this guy, I think his name is Jeremy, but he abused his wife. He abused Meghan. Ay. The things that he said about Meghan, you people. Wow, I was shocked. How he said that he would just like to see her naked paraded all over the UK with shit thrown on her. You know, this man is such an arrogant a-hole. You know? How dare he say such a thing? I would love to say such a thing about himself. Not even about his wife or about his child. Fortunately, his daughter came over and said, you know what, I don't agree with what my father said. These are people who are so bitter with life, you know? Old men, old white men who are bitter with life. Miserable human beings. Yeah? And then on the other hand, if they're corrected or if they're told to account for their actions or their saying, or if they're told to explain what they mean, they walk off stage. Piers Morgan the other day just walked off stage just like that. Yeah? He was told, look, he was upset. Why? Because Meghan ignored him. He wants to take credit for introducing Meghan to Harry. Just because Meghan met him at a pub before she was princess, he invited her to a pub, and then he said that he actually called a taxi for her that took her to the party where she met Prince Harry. And after that, Meghan has never spoken to Piers Morgan again. And Piers Morgan is so bitter to be ignored by Meghan. Oh my God, she never talked to me again. These people, they need a life, guys. These guys have no life. They have no life. If I tell you these people have no life, just believe me, because they have none. They get upset over the smallest things. You know, there's this Kenyan guy. He's actually not Kenyan. He's British. He's white British boy. And he's, let me not call him a boy, he's a young man, and he lives in Kenya currently. But he was sent to Kenya as punishment by his English mother. I don't know what he did wrong, but he was sent to Kenya as punishment, and he's never wanted to come back. But he's a Christian, and he started a church in Eldoret and speaks fabulous Kiswahili. Everybody knows him for that. He speaks very good Swahili. So he said that when he came back home on holiday, he couldn't wait to go back, yeah, to Kenya, because he says, "Hey, watu wanakasirika, wana makasiriko." What that means is that, for those guys who don't know Swahili, he complained that the British people get angry so fast, and it's really, really true. Because one of the things I have noted right here, for example, in Wales, road rage. We talk about road rage in America. Hey, the road rage is amazing. It looks like with you guys, I'm doing much better work. I have so I've peeled some potatoes, so I'm planning to actually cut them up and put them in the oven. But usually I parboil them just a little bit so that they can cook quickly, because I know the kids are starving. They hate potatoes, but I make sure they get at least one piece each. Anyway, going back to this culture, just full of people who are angry, enraged, and they think it's fun. And they think that, you know, that when you talk about the fact that, oh, I'm so upset, it enrages me. You think that actually that makes you more of a, you want to associate yourself with people who lose their temper, people who can't hold their temper, people who can't control themselves, control their lives. Yeah. It's such a sad situation. When I look at the people in this country, I feel sorry. I realize that actually the people in Africa are so much happier. They're happy. You go downstairs, people are smiling. Hey, habari mama, how are you? Everything okay? Everybody's smiling. No wonder they want to go on holiday and go to Africa. In fact, I'm going to try my best to try to get some people out of here, because of a very negative environment, negative culture. And what you find when you come to this country, guys, is that the Africans who come to live in the UK, if they don't watch it, they become exactly like the people here in the UK. Yeah. So you can be walking on the street and you want to say hi to someone, and they just ignore you because they have the stiff British upper lip, and they're just like, ew, who are you? Who are you? They don't care. You know, please, you people. Anyway, let's go and make British chicken now. Okay guys, so I'm going to take the potatoes, try and put them up here so you can see them, yeah? I'm just going to take them and rinse them off now. Yeah. And I'm just going to cut them up into pieces. And I'm just going to cut them up into pieces. Having done this for many years, I may not need a chopping board, eh? Yeah, so basically, this is the life. This is the life of a married woman now, guys. Those of you who thought marriage is just fun. Well, it's work. It's work. It's work. So anyway, we're talking about, you know, the nasty naturedness of the people in this country. Wow, I just don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're so aggressive. But you know, if you read about the history of the Vikings, these people used to be very, 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 what do we say, aggressive and dangerous, always fighting. Their job is always fighting. They're always looking for something to complain about, someone to blame. They will never accept responsibility for any fault, which is one thing I do not like about the British culture. They do not accept responsibility for anything. If they make a mistake, they never say sorry, because they don't want to be seen to be wrong. Yeah, and it's amazing. You know, I've never lived in a culture where, I mean, even America, at least Americans will always say, yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. You know, I'm really sorry about that, I apologize. But British, to tell you sorry, the only way that a British person could tell you sorry is if maybe they can't find, maybe you're looking for something in a shop and you can't find it, they'll tell you, oh, sorry. It doesn't, in other words, it's kind of like in a kind of like, oh, too bad. Too bad it's not here. I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry. They don't, and when they say apologize, they don't really mean it. They don't apologize for nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a very bad culture. So, they have taught their children this, never to take responsibility for any wrong or any evil. That's the reason why, if those people who are waiting for reparations or waiting to be told sorry for the British invasion of African countries, you can forget it. They'll never say it because it's not in their culture. They were not taught good manners of apologizing, admitting fault. It's not in their culture. They don't admit fault. In this country, nobody admits fault. Everybody is right. And that's the problem. You see, because in our African culture, you're always taught to be honest. Here, honesty is seen as foolishness. You're not supposed to be honest. In fact, if you're honest, you're seen as really stupid in this culture. Sorry to have to say, but it's true. As much as there's a lot of good things in the UK, there are also some very terrible things, horrible things. And one of them is exactly that. Refusing to accept liability, refusing to accept fault. To me, it's a weakness. It's a huge weakness. And they don't see it. The worst thing, they don't even see it. That it's such a weakness in their culture. Compare them even with the Japanese. Because, of course, they will always want to compare themselves with people who are closer to them. They will not want to compare themselves with Africans who always apologize. Yeah? But if you compare them with the Japanese are always like this. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. You know? I love them. And who doesn't love the Japanese? Who doesn't? Who doesn't love the Japanese and their way of, the humility is beautiful. Yeah? Because it's for them, it's really all about peace. These ones here, they'll never apologize. They'll never apologize when they're wrong, if they're on the road and they're just driving the way they want. They don't care. They're happy. They have no problem spewing superlatives at you, shouting, fighting. I talked about that in the last thing, but it's just so shocking. I mean, as old as I am, it's disgusting. I find that really disgusting and something that I have to work very hard to teach our kids. Because what happens is that these children that we bring up in these countries, they'll end up being exactly like these people. They're never going to say sorry. They're never going to accept liability. They're never going to be humble. They'll always be arrogant. And that arrogance is very bad. So, let's take a look now at the next thing we're cooking. Next thing we're cooking is Tesco Large British chicken. Can you see the British flag over there, people? Okay, it says, please ensure all packaging is removed before cooking. Well, obviously. Well, I guess some of them have packaging that you can cook with. But this is pure British chicken. Yes, British chicken. As if we don't know that already. So I'm just going to put this big chicken. It cost about £5. About there, yeah, about £5, which is in Kenyan shillings about 750 shillings. But if you see the size of this thing is a monster, man. This thing is huge. Look at this chicken, people. Just look how big it is. If you get the chickens in Kenya, oh my God, they are so tiny. This thing is just full of all kinds of steroids. Yes. And that's why our children will they'll start maturing early because they have all these kinds of steroids in all the food. Yeah, these animals are huge. I mean, huge. They almost look like a newborn baby. It's 1.8 kg. It's 1.8 kg. Almost 2 kilos. Such a big chicken, I'm telling you. Big monster. But I'm only saying that because I'm comparing with Kenya, because this is just like a medium-sized chicken in this country. No big deal. If you saw the turkeys, you'd run for your life. But anyway, that's one of the things I do like about the UK, which is, because I like to balance my reporting, which is reasonably priced food, really, seriously. So I tend to clip off the edges of chicken wings. Yeah, I tend to do that. Let me bring this closer. Bring it down a bit. You can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I tend to clip off the edges of chicken wings. Yeah, because I find them like they're not even edible anyway, these little things. What are they for? Yeah, so then, a lot of people have problems with like cutting up chicken, but really, to be honest, it's simple. It's just you just have to go to where the joint is. Yeah, and cut there. And that's something I taught myself, how to carve. They call it carving a chicken, yeah? So anyway, guys, so let me tell you a story because, me, I like telling people stories. What happened? So hubby went to buy food and then he escaped. This is the life. I was telling you today that I'm going to talk to you about the life of a married woman. You think that marriage is, just like or the prince comes and finds you from the castle, kisses you and takes you away in his carriage. Excuse me, the carriage that you're going to be taken to nowadays is in the kitchen, and all of us end up here at some point. Even if you don't want to be in the kitchen, you'll end up in the kitchen. And if you refuse to work in the kitchen or to be in the kitchen, you might find yourself left. You see, always I try to make sure I get to the joints. I don't like funny sharp, you know. Yeah. So that's how you carve a chicken. Yeah, so married life is good, but it's a lot of work. Literally a lot of work, a lot of work. You should get rid of this part, you know, this nasty part, the little anus. Get rid of it. But because I'm going to cook it in the oven, I'm not going to remove the skin. I'm going to keep the skin on, yeah? Don't worry about my clothes and how I look today. God, I look so terrible. Okay. Today I'm wearing loose clothing. I'm at home. I'm wearing my PJs. I'm in my PJs. And I don't really care anymore, really. I've been actually keeping up with the news back in Africa, back in Kenya as well. I'm seeing so much going on. I've been trying to keep up with the news in Kenya, and I see that so much politics as usual. That's one thing I really do not miss, and I don't like to talk about too much. For me, if I have something to discuss, it has to be something important, yeah? Yeah. If I'm talking about GMOs or something like that that's going to educate you, then I'll talk about politics. Otherwise, I really am not bothered. I'm not really too keen about talking about politics, because usually there's just like nothing to discuss. It's nothing new. Always the same old cycle. Fighting for position, fighting for power. You know, people go in there with so many promises about how they're going to deliver for the population, and in the end they do nothing. And it's always the same thing. Always. So when you get a politician coming over there to tell you, I'm going to do this and this for you, just know it's a lie. They won't do nothing. Just look at the guy and see whether maybe he's approachable, or whether he's somebody who might be reasonable. Look at his past behavior. But otherwise, politicians in Africa have sold us off vibaya somehow. They just embarrass me, actually, to be honest. Yeah. So I'm going back to being very negative, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so today we're making chicken, and I'm just going to spice it up. And then I'm going to put it in with potatoes. And the potatoes don't have to boil for too long, just for a short time. Under normal circumstances, I'll also put carrots and stuff, but our major shopping we're going to be doing tomorrow. So today I've got very few ingredients, because we're going to go shopping to Kesho. Today the kids have things to do. It's a Saturday. So we try not to mix things, you know, like kids have... Normally we'll go shopping like today, but you know, it just becomes too hectic. We decide, we'll go Kesho. Once we have a car now, we can go tomorrow morning early, rather than having to mix things. Yeah. So anyway, do I like being back in the UK? Yes, I do. I do like being back in the UK. Although I do miss Africa, I do miss Kenya, my own country. What I miss most about Kenya are the people, really. You know, I miss being around positivity. Yeah, because these guys here are so negative. Can really piss you off. And in fact, that's the thing that makes them have mental health issues. They're not even nice to each other. They're not nice to each other at all. They're always looking for fault in other people. Never admit faults themselves. And that's a very hard society to live in. Very hard. And also pretense. There's a lot of pretense. They pretend. Wow, they can pretend for you here. I have no apologies to make for calling them out on these things, because they're just... It's not helping them either. Yeah? Their own society is not the best. So I'm looking for light, and I'm having problems because, you know, it's starting to get dark very, very early nowadays, guys. And so it's a bit difficult. So my potatoes have boiled a bit. You can see them boiling in. My potatoes have boiled a bit. You can see them boiling in the background. I don't want them to boil too much, so I'm going to switch them off. I just want them just like to blanch. That's what you call it. First level boiling. See, you guys, you ladies who like things for the kitchen, you see this beautiful big strainer? I got this one second hand. Think about it. Nice strainer, heavy duty. Something that great grandmothers would use. I remember when I was living in the US, Yeah, there was a time I was living in the US when I was going to school. I went shopping in second-hand shops a lot. And in the US, what they have is garage sales in the summer. In the summer, here there's no garage sale I never used to go to in my area since I was taught by mom. Yeah? You go to garage sales and you pick things. I finished, 1 second, sorry, making noise. I finished my entire house with second-hand things from garage sales. Yeah, they save a lot of money that way. Yeah, so I just use some wallpaper, put it on here. Yeah, you can save a lot of money with garage sales. So, when I was in America, I finished my entire house from this guy who used to be, he was a carpenter, but he lost his wife. And unfortunately, he lost his wife. She died. He had made like a Scandinavian sofa. He had made beautiful big pine beds, oak beds, and everything. So I finished my entire house from his house. It's like I just went and got a U-Haul and just picked everything, including Christmas decorations. Imagine, that woman was so organized. Unfortunately, she died, but she was so organized. She had a whole bunch, and he didn't want anything that reminded him of her. And on top of that, he was trying to move out of his gigantic house that he had built himself. I mean, the house was beautiful. He was such a carpenter. So I had the most beautiful furniture. And people used to wonder, hey, Maureen, where'd you buy these things? They're so expensive. They're not even expensive. Go to garage sales, yeah? Go to somebody's garage sale and just don't pick anything. Pick one item. Don't go crazy and pick everything at garage sales. So it's the same thing here. You just go pick one item. Yeah? Yeah. You can see my cups now. Oh, they're gone already. The children have already started drinking with all my cups that I bought yesterday. It really makes sense to save money. Save money buying secondhand. Buying used. And I'm still using them, by the way, yeah? I'm still using them in Kenya. So I'm actually spicing my chicken now. Let's spice it up. I'm using medium curry powder. And I also use something called a chicken seasoning. If I season it, I just like kurugarugia. In Kikuyu, in my local language, kurugarugia means to, what do you call it? To mix it. We don't know whether we have it. Kurugarugia, to jump the food. Yes, jump the food. Okay. There's a little bit of aromat here. Everybody knows aromat, yeah? Aromat. You can add it to that. It makes it taste good. And it looks like it's already gone anyway, so we need to get some more tomorrow. So I just pour everything here. And it literally just fills the whole space. Very nice. And then I put my potatoes. These potatoes, I also put them on top. It's a good meal because you know you're not adding any fat. There's no frying, there's nothing like that. Yeah. And by the way, this is how I normally cook. It's just quite normal. Now I'm going to get some onion. Obviously, I have some leftover onion from yesterday's cooking, which I normally put in a container. And I close it because you know how onions stink the house down. I just take it and chop it up a bit in pieces like that. Cooking is not easy, yeah, because I have to keep on moving this stand all the time. But I need to show you, yeah. Just chop the onion into thin slices. Very thin. I know how to chop very fast and very skinny thin slices because I trained at the Hilton guys, you know. There's a time I went and trained in the kitchen when I first came out of high school. The first thing they give you is a whole bunch of vegetables to cut into tiny pieces. You can see how tiny they are. Yeah, very tiny skinny pieces. You take those pieces and put them on the chicken here. Just for some taste. Some flavor. Put them in there. Put them on there. I don't like to pour it like that, so I'd rather put it in my hands and put some over the potatoes. Chicken seasoning over the potatoes. Oh, I put so much. Oh, guy. But it's okay because it will taste good. It's really good. See, it's starting to look orangish. Yeah. Take a look at it closer. Starting to look orangish, yeah? Yes! So, did I set it? I didn't even set the seal over. But this one heats up quickly, so I'm going to put it on grill. to start browning the meat, I'll put it in the grill and it will heat up fast enough anyway. It's not like those ones at home. Just put it in there. Put it like on the top shelf. Yeah, so I just put it there. I put it on the middle shelf in the oven. And there, the chicken is gonna be soon cooking. Yeah. So just wait for it to start browning now. First thing I did when I came back to this country is I bought myself a rice cooker. You guys, man, you have no idea. If you don't have a rice cooker, you better get one. Because it is such a time saver. It is a time saver. These are things I learned from living in, I lived in America. When I lived in a, let me see here. You know, when I lived in the US, I lived in a house that was full of Chinese ladies. And there's no way any single woman did not have a rice maker. A rice maker was like a staple for them. It's something that they absolutely have to have. Japanese, Chinese, they all have to have rice makers because it's like their ugali, you know. So it's so simple to put the rice in there. You can actually fry it over here and then actually put it into this container, cover it and wait, you know. Cover it, press, wait. And it actually makes perfect rice, right? Comes out so well. So I got a very big rice maker and it also saves you from washing dishes every single time. Washing pots all the time. Rice maker is a definite must for this household. So there's already rice in the rice maker that was already made earlier. My husband is into rice. He likes rice, yeah. I think it's a West African thing. West Africans eat a lot of rice, yeah. But for me, my potatoes are inside there. So what am I going to make? I'm going to make a bit of a sauce, I think. And this time I'm going to use garlic and tomatoes. And I'm just going to make like a sauce here. Just to go with this food. So it's not going to be so dry, you know. So guys, yeah, that's it. So you know, you guys, this life of UK is not that simple. It's not that easy. Yeah, because it's like your freedoms are curtailed. Because even if you have a car, you want to go places, there's no way you're going. You can't find someone to look after the children. Babysitting is a big thing. And that's the reason for me why I did not raise my kid in America. I raised my child in Kenya. I was in the US, had him there. I came back to Kenya because it is so hard to raise kids in these countries. They really haven't thought about it. They haven't thought about how important it is for children to have support systems. They haven't. So what happens is that women have to give up their careers in most cases. And I didn't want to give up my career. So me, I went back to Kenya. So I keep telling my hubby, when we're ready, we're going back. I'm going to go back. And even him keeps saying he's going to go back. Because, you know, at some point, you're not going to be living in these countries forever with children. You'll never have any freedom. You never have any freedom. You never have any freedom, you guys. Ever. Always work. Kitchen, working. I keep telling my household how much I miss her in Kenya. I miss her. So they may have all the other trappings of society. A lot of people are in this country, by the way, let me tell you guys something. A lot of people are in this country because of healthcare. Healthcare. But now look at the healthcare. It's a mess. It's actually a complete mess. In these countries, if you're here for the healthcare in the UK, think twice. Because you might find that you can get better healthcare in Africa. Yeah, you just have to pay insurance. And once you get insurance, you can go to a hospital and you see a doctor. Within 5 minutes, you've seen a doctor. Yeah. I just chopped up some garlic there, guys, if you want to see. I just chopped up some garlic and I'm going to cut some onions. Then I'm going to make some sort of tomato sauce, something simple. So, you guys, the healthcare in these countries, the NHS is on its knees in the UK. I was listening to, if you guys go on YouTube a lot, you'll find so many stories about people who are losing their lives unnecessarily because of long waits for hospital admission. Imagine in Europe. I'm trying to see where to place this thing. It's so annoying, I swear. You know, it's getting dark outside, you guys. Let me show you outside. It's getting dark. See? It's so hard to like figure out where to put this thing, so you can see me properly. And I can get a good angle. Of course, I want to have a nice angle, Cindy. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys came, let me see if I can move this down a bit. So if you guys came to Europe because you're gonna get better health care, or they're gonna look after you when you're older, hey, think twice. Because these people's society, this society is going down. It's not getting any better. It's not. In fact, the people who seem to be doing better now are the Eastern countries. I hate to mention it, but it's true. Those countries that are fighting right now, they look like they're doing better than countries like Europe. Countries like the UK, they're going down. And it's because of their attitude. They don't want people to work. Anytime that you do additional work in this country, they charge you double taxes. You can't go to work. They don't want people to work. They want you to be dependent on the government for your survival. So what happens is that they self-sabotage. The people who are here who have energy to work decide not to work. Because if you work, you're taxed so highly that it kind of like beats the purpose of going to work in the first place. Yeah? And that's a little bit different from, for example, in America. Like in America, and that's because, they want people, it's like they want people to be on benefits. And because when you are on benefits, they can control you. Because they're so crazy about controlling everyone. They want to control you more than they want you to work. They want to control your income more than they want you to work because they have to maintain the class system. The class system in this country is serious. It's not a joke, It's about who's there and who's there. They cannot tolerate or even imagine that somebody might come and take over and be higher class than they are. They don't want to see people of certain minorities groups. These people don't want to see people of certain minority groups doing better. If you drive a nice car, they look at you with suspicion. If you have a good job, they look at you with suspicion. If you live in a decent neighborhood, look at you with suspicion. You live in a good home, they look at you with suspicion. It's a problem. UK is full of crap. Really full of crap. Yeah? It's really full of crap. And I'm going to say it as it is because it's the truth. And I'm not the only person saying this. I'm not the only one. There's plenty of non-black people who are complaining about the same thing. The middle class. The middle class. It's like they just want to kill the middle class. They give you have a job, but it's not enough, to make. And then they start, sending you messages about how the government is going to give you extra money. They're, going to give, money to millions of people. They're going to give you an extra one pound, an extra 15 pounds, an extra. And they make a big deal about it. As if they themselves can live on that money. So in this country, they kind of sabotage anyone who has any sort of energy to work. If you have energy to work, don't come to Europe. You'll be disappointed, especially if you come to UK. If you have a lot of energy, if you're the kind of person who loves working and you love to be entrepreneurial and all, don't come to Europe. Don't. Go to America. Go to America. I've lived in America. I know. Because I lived in the US. And it's a completely different culture there. Totally different. In the US, they appreciate people who want to work. They do. And even if they tax you very highly, they will help you in every way to succeed. Because I remember when I was starting my business in the US, guys, I started a business in the US, and I was actually going to different markets, selling African things. The support I got was unbelievable. Yeah, the banks were willing to give me money to start. I was just a student. I had just gotten a job at the university. So the University Credit Union was ready, and they gave me money to buy a car. I told them what the car was for. I told them it's a hatchback and I need it so I can carry big tables and stuff to go to my shows. I tell you, I used to pay so well. Every single month I had to pay $600, back. Every single month I was paying $600 or more. Sometimes I pay more. Because they were supporting my business. They were supporting my business idea and investment. America is very, very good for anybody who thinks of entrepreneurship. But if you're an entrepreneurship kind of person and you come to the UK, you're finished, literally finished. The UK does not like people who are entrepreneurs. The UK likes people who are employees. So if you're working for the bank, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you're, and if you look at the jobs, customer service representative, they'll never encourage anybody to do business, entrepreneurship. They talk about it like as if it's for the underclass. Entrepreneurship, they even call them tradespeople in a block. Tradesmen and tradeswomen. You know who those are? Those tradesmen and tradeswomen. They're the ones who are the tradesmen and tradeswomen are plumbers, electricians, they call them bricklayers, masons, the guys who are self-employed, they have their own truck, they go to do their own work, they just give them a blanket name, tradesmen, just tradesmen. And you know, my father was actually educated in this system, and I remember this one time he asked me, do you just want to be a trader? And you know, but now he has come of age and he's like, oh, I think you need to be a trader. Yeah. Being a trader is always looked down upon in these societies. I have no idea what they're doing. So this is their attitude. You have a degree, but you just want to be a trader. You just want to be a trader, just a trader. In this economy, who actually was doing better now? Wasn't it the traders, guys? Wasn't it the traders? Okay, so I put in a whole bunch of chopped tomatoes. And we actually buy them canned. My wonderful friend, unfortunately, who passed on, and it's now been a year, this year. It's going to mark 1 year since she passed on. Her name is Faith. Oh my God. I've never even been back to go and see her grave. But I'm praying that I'm going to find a chance to go there. Let me not start that discussion because that would just make me cry, make me feel so bad because I lost Faith. And you remember I did a video on Faith here. Just a year ago. You see how time flies. Time really, really flies, guys. Well, anyway, going back to talking about careers in these countries. If you're an ambitious individual, whether you're coming from Nigeria, you're coming from Kenya, you're coming from Zimbabwe, if you're an ambitious type of person and you find that you have opportunity to either go to America or to come to the UK or to go to Canada or Australia, or you want to go to these what they call developed countries, I just advise you, go straight to America and don't even look back. Go straight to America. Because let me tell you, there's nothing here in UK for you, nothing. You will come here, you will work as a carer, the money will never be enough for you, you'll have to work, even if you're qualified as a person of color, they're not going to give you the opportunity to work in your field. If they do give you an opportunity, everybody will look at you with suspicion, they'll hate you for having the job, they'll make your life impossible, unbearable and uncomfortable, and you will not enjoy your job. That's a fact, that's just a fact, I've told you the truth, the way it is. Yeah, that the UK, the only way you can enjoy the UK is if you're out of sight and out of mind. Stay at home, do your work at home, and let them just see you when you go shopping, when you go spending, they're happy to see you spending money. But not until you're sitting there working with them side by side. The only other thing is, if you can do jobs that they have decided are for you and for your type. If you decide you want to get into care or nursing, they'll treat you very well. Yeah, because maybe they'll treat you very well, or maybe they'll accept you better. Care, nursing, security, that is for black people. Those are the jobs for black people in Europe, and especially in the UK. Yeah, care, security, binmen, whatever, all the blue collar, all the lower cadre type of jobs, those are for black people. But professional jobs are for themselves. Anything where they're wearing a tie, suit, whatever, office is not for you guys. It's not. And you're going to find it very, very difficult to work in offices in the UK. It's going to be very hard. And this is a blanket statement because it's the truth. Yeah, I've experienced this myself personally several times, and I'm speaking from truth, and I'm a British citizen, and I can tell you. And I've compared working here and working in the US. I'm telling you, we think that there's US, but the UK is worse. It's much worse. I used to hear about it from people who studied here. I have a friend, for example, who studied in Scotland in Aberdeen University. Very bright guy. Yeah, PhD at the age of 27. Brilliant, like brilliant. And he came back to Kenya and I asked him, why didn't you decide to get a job in the UK? I would have thought, in those days that, that jobs that he said, you won't believe I can't get a job. You will come here, spend all your money in university in the UK, and to get a job would be impossible. It will be completely impossible. I have friends whose children went to universities here. Right now, they're working in the care system, even if they're graduates from universities, just because of the color of their skin. They cannot get jobs in the UK. There are no jobs here. And the jobs that are here, they don't pay enough. So yes, there is a very big problem with R in this country. There's a big problem with R in the UK, a big one. So I'm warning my own fellow Africans, if you want to come to the UK, come here knowing that this is the situation. If you can find a way to work without being seen. For example, you work from home. Let's say you work from home, or you have a job where you're not commuting, you're not really engaging too much with offices, you're not getting involved in office politics, they're not seeing your face too often, you're good in that case. But if they have to see you daily, it's an affront to them. They don't want to see black people in offices. They don't want that. And the reason I tell you this is because when I was working in care, I was working with people like pilots. I've told you this before. Pilots, engineers, people like that. Underemployed. Totally underemployed. So I just want to tell you guys, I said it in Kenya, and I'm saying it again here to you guys, that if you want to come to work in the UK, be ready, okay, to be viewed this way. And that's it. And remember that the qualifications that you get in the UK are not necessarily any better than the qualifications you're going to get in your own country at home. Some of the universities that we have in Africa are fabulous, and they are churning out people who have serious skills, and it's becoming more and more so. And over here, there's a problem also with loneliness. If you're coming alone, you don't have family, you're going to have a hard time here. I won't lie to you. Me, I'm happy, at least I have my family. I've experienced both, but I was here alone, and now that I'm here with my family, very big difference. I don't have loneliness issues now. But if you're going to look outside and see grey skies, and then you're all by yourself, cooking for yourself, just sitting in front of the TV, you go shopping, you come back home, you cook yourself a meal, you sit down, you haven't talked to anybody, you haven't engaged or interacted with anyone, it's hard. Very, very hard. But if you're in America, it's a bit better, although yes, you'll also experience loneliness in America, it's still there, unless you create your own community. But in the US, people are generally much more open. And even the British themselves, many of them are moving to the US. Even if they like to fight and to say bad things about America, in the end, they always end up going there. Okay, let's check on our food. I think I've talked a lot and enough. I don't know, maybe our food is burning over here meanwhile. Let's check it out. Ooh, I think it's looking good. Let's take a look at it. All right. Let's take a look. Yes, it's browning nicely. Let me bring it close to you and make you hungry. Karibuni chakula. Yeah, it's still cooking. So I'm just going to turn it a bit. I'll turn it around and just let it cook some more. Normally I would turn the food around. It's a bit early for that. And that's a tomato sauce. It's just a thick tomato sauce paste with garlic, which is going to be eaten with rice and that chicken you saw and potatoes when it's over. Yeah, and that's it. Okay guys, let's take a look at our chicken. Our chicken. Oh, it's browning nicely. It should be golden brown. Unataka kuona. Look how lovely it looks. All those potatoes are golden brown. It should be like that. So all we have to do is turn them. Yeah. So there we are. So all I'm going to do is just take a fork. You can take 2 forks actually. No, maybe not 2 forks. I'm going to say something like this. Just like a spoon and a fork. Those young ladies who have no idea, this is wifery. Let's be wife. Let's be the wife. Be proud to be a wife. Cook for your family. Don't order food. Cook for your family. And cook for yourself actually, It's healthier, tastier. So just turning it so that it cooks on the other side. So like I was saying, you're having British beef and British potatoes, and I think British spices and British heat and British oven and British everything. Yeah, so as for where God is in all of this, I don't think he exists here. Yeah, but it's good. That's branded. To be honest, British chicken is very tasty, It's very, very tasty. When I compare it even with American chicken, I won't lie, I think I would say British chicken is probably better. For once, I can give the British at least some credit, because I can say that their food is actually good. It's tasty. Because when I compare, for example, the food in America to the food in England, the food in America has a lot of GMO, a lot of additives, a lot of GMO, a lot of chemicals. But in the UK and in Europe generally, they're a little bit more cautious when it comes to that. So I can say their food I even can taste it in the taste of the quality of the food, the way it tastes, a bit different. Their potatoes are just fantastic. The things I like about the UK, the potatoes, I love them. The sausages, love them. They're very good. Even the pork ones, although I'm not so big on pork. The pork sausages are very, very nice here in the UK. Very tasty. It tastes almost like the sausages in Kenya. They're nice. And then the other thing I like is I like their chicken, I like their potatoes, I like their vegetables generally. Their food is generally good. So let them be proud of their British beef and British whatever. Imagine in a meza mate right now. So you see the way it looks white. I don't want that white look. I need to put some more spice in it. Those people who don't like spices, I feel sorry for you. You don't know what you're missing. Put a bit of black pepper. I'm not so keen myself on black pepper. I don't want it in my hands, but I have to have it. Oh! I have to control it because I don't want too much of it on the food. But there's people who really love black pepper. I have a friend who cooks who cannot cook without black pepper. Yeah, but I have to put a bit because they have to have that little bit of feeling of black pepper. And yeah, maybe put a little bit of a bit of curry as well. For the children, because the children say they don't want to taste the potatoes. I can't understand these kids. They say that they don't want to taste potatoes to taste like potatoes. Even if you buy them crisps, they'll say they taste the potatoes. I said, well, they're made of potatoes, kiddos. Alright, guys. Wash my hands. Yeah. So these are the joys of kitchen work. The good thing with the oven is that it's so fast. You can see. It's just taking me less than an hour. This food will be ready for all these people. And usually I turn it and put it back in. Yeah. Let me take a look at my sauce now. I'm improvising on lids. You see this lid? It doesn't have a lid, but I discovered if I put this there, that works, eh? Yep. I improvise because the cover is really nice. Yeah, the sauce should be not too tangy, not too sour, so you have to cook it for some time. You look at that sauce, tomato sauce. You have to cook it for some time so that to get rid of that kind of chachuness. It's actually pretty good. Let's go back and I continue talking. I really hope this rice is going to be enough. Okay, you know these people, they eat a lot of rice. It will be enough anyway. So like I was saying, guys, I don't mean to like badmouth people over here in this country, because in every country there's always issues, yeah. But one of the things anyway that I do like about the UK is that they really do give priority to families. Yeah, families matter to them, and they do think about the fact that children need childcare. They do think about those kinds of things. I sometimes wish that I had brought myself here when my son was young. Because America, on the other hand, the problem I have with America is that they really don't think about childcare. At least in the time that I was there. Yeah, the one thing I did not like about America as a parent was that everything is on you. You feel like you're just by yourself. You're raising kids, but it's like by yourself. Your government really doesn't pay much attention. But in these European countries, they do. And in countries such as Finland, for example, I've got a friend who's in Finland. Boy, even the men also get like, I think, a year off or 2 years off parental leave. So when you're thinking of a country to go to, think about the fact that, you know, because you cannot employ house help and you need to raise your kids, how will you do it? How will you raise your child? If I had come here when my son was much younger, I'm telling you, the people who came those days, they have big houses and compounds and everything in Europe. But in America, oh, it's very hard to get that. America is like a place which will work you to the bone. You shall be worked to the bone. So I think my mother has a saying that everybody is born with their intelligence and their foolishness. Yeah. Omodo akorogo na uge wake na uke wake in Kikuyu. And I think it's true actually. We're all born with our intelligence, and that also includes the societies that we come from. Even our African societies, same thing. Yeah, so there's no perfect place to live. It's up to us to decide where we're going to live, how we're going to live, and try to make the best out of wherever. Because sometimes I think to myself about going back to America and I feel, oh, that country's too big for me. I'm now used to smaller environments. But then when I think about the weather in the UK, I think to myself, oh God, can I cope? But when I think about the weather in the US, it's just as bad. There's some places that they could be warm, but then they have very extreme heat. Some places are just average, but then they have gun crime. When I think about the gun crime in America, it just picks me off because I've got a husband, I've got a little boy here. I've also got my son in America. I'm always worried, always worried. Always at night you're thinking, oh my God, you know, somebody can come in, you know, they have so many guns in that country. I don't really think I want to live in a country that has so many guns like America. I loved America. It was great for me when I was a student. Fantastic. But I don't think it's a place for me anymore. As much as I really love it, and I've always told my husband about the States, you know, maybe we should go to the States, maybe we should relocate. But what we can say is we'll go according to what God decides, really. In the end, one really doesn't really know. Every place has its positives and negatives, and I know that the US has a lot of positives just because it's a much more tolerant society, especially for people of color, you know. But the UK is also trying anyway. They are trying, you know. One of the things that you'll find in the UK is crazy here. The amount of crime, cybercrime here is bad in the UK. By the way, I need to tell you people, if you're new to the UK and you get a phone call that tells you, oh, you know, you can get a loan, or oh, you know, we can help you to do X, Y, Z, don't accept it. Don't. Ask them who they are, where they got your number, and do not give your details. Do not tell them where you live, your address, your bank account. Don't give them any information because, by the way, I remember when I was applying for support, for business support, your information, your data is out there. So there's all kinds of people who are going to start calling you that have got nothing to do with your application. So I get called by this person and they're using a very thick British accent, very thick, I think it's even Cockney accent. Hey there, my name is Rosemary and I'm calling to find out whether you would like, yes, are you Maureen? Yes, what is your name? Can I confirm your address? Can I confirm your telephone number? Can I confirm your date of birth? And where are you? And you're applying, I see that you were applying for a loan. We offer loans to people like you, blah, 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 blah. Where did they get this information from, by you guys? And they talk with such gusto, such arrogance, and then they want you to make a decision right there. They say, okay, well, would you like to, can I call you tomorrow? I said, no, don't call me. Don't call me. I will call you when, oh, and then they start insisting they want to call you, they have to call you, blah, blah, blah. They want to do everything. Everything is in a hurry. It's just like, for example, I was applying for driving license. I wanted to do some driving lessons. Just about two. Just to be familiar with the rules of the road and to remind myself. Not that I haven't done driving lessons. I did driving lessons in Kenya, driving lessons in America. I don't need more driving lessons. I've been driving since I was 19. That's over 30 years of, almost 35 years, you know, of driving. So I've been driving for a long time. So it's not like I really need to be driving, you know, to get driving lessons to learn how to hold the steering and control the car. That's something I have. I even have an international license. So I just wanted just 2 classes so that I'm aware of what the rules are on this road. 2, 3, 4 classes, just a few. This guy refused. He said I have to take 10 classes minimum. I'm like, 10 classes? Really? And then he's telling me that he wants me to confirm. I told him, okay, I want only just a few classes. Then he says, okay, well, I can give you 2 classes just to assess how many classes you will need. I thought, fair enough. And then guess what? He wants me to sign immediately. He tells me that he wants to take my details, my banking details, so that he can... I said, what? Wait a minute, I need to go back and decide whether this is what I want. And then he says, no, I think you need to book because I'm actually very, very busy. I'm like, you know what? No. So immediately you're starting to fight. These guys like to fight. And where we come from as Africans, we're very polite. We don't want to harm or hurt anybody's feelings. They have read us, these people. They know this is how we are as Africans, you know. And they'll even tell you, oh, I have a lot of African clients. I have a lot of Nigerian clients. I said, this is because Nigerians are polite. They're not going to be wanting to come in, especially people who come in, oh, yes, yes, I live here, yes, sir. No, you guys, you have to be smart, you know. Say no. Hang up if you want to hang up. Call them up and tell them not to call you again. If they keep on bugging you, the next thing they'll do, they'll send you stuff in the mail. Write to them, complain, write a complaint, and tell them that if they call you back again, you're going to write a complaint. Yeah? Be nasty. Just the same way that they're pushing you, push back. Yeah? That's how it's going to have to be, guys. Because in this country, it's war. When you come to this country, it's like you become a different person. You now become as aggressive as they are. And that's why you see them being aggressive on the road. They're so aggressive. If you stay here in this country for a long time, most likely you just become just like them. And I'm scared. I don't want to be like that. So, on another note, I'm getting ready. Kesho, I'm going to church. I'm going to try and see if I can vlog the church because I really enjoyed the service last week. I haven't been to church for a very long time. And there's a reason. It's because I find people in church are so, it's like a members-only club. I don't know. You know, a lot of people, churches, I have one specific church that I used to go to, which I used to really love, you know, House of Bread. And my pastor, my music pastor, also started a church. The only problem is that it was a bit far for me. I was in Mombasa, there in Limuru, you know. So it was a bit difficult for me to go there. But I'm very choosy about who it is that I associate with in churches. Because churches are full of a lot of politics, yeah. And it can be quite difficult. But this particular church service that I went to, I really enjoyed. And I really hope that I'll be able to vlog it tomorrow so that you can see. I told the kids about going to church and they said, we have to go back to church again. Is it every Sunday? I said, yes, it's every Sunday. And the main reason I want the kids to go to church actually is just to learn values. Mainly it's about values, you know. Obey your mother, obey your father, you know, be kind to your neighbor, be kind to your cat, you know, pray every day, talk to God. It's mostly about ethics and morals. Because I don't see where else and who else is going to help me to train the kids on that. Except church. And then in the end, they can choose whichever religion they're going to eventually follow, if any, one day. But in the meantime, let them at least get a bit of a foundation. Yeah, so I'd like to encourage you people, if you want, you go to church, take your kids to church because it will help them. When you come from church, there's a kind of aura, a peace about yourself. Even in the family, you feel that peace. And then after that, the devil starts to attack you. Yeah, but it's normal. You'll be attacked whether you go to church or you don't go to church. Okay, let's see whether our food is ready now. I've talked a lot today, eh? Oh my gosh. Thank you for listening. Yeah, I really appreciate you. I need you. I need to talk to you. I need to spend my 25,000 words. Yeah, okay. So guys, what we're going to do, we're going to add a few vegetables. What I did with this sauce, can you see the sauce here? Let me bring the sauce closer for you. See the sauce? It's a tomato sauce. And what I did is that some of that sauce from the chicken, you know the chicken that is cooking here in the oven, eh? Some of it, the sauce, I just pour it on here. Put it in there. And then take a bag of spinach. It's already cut up for you, imagine. It's already cut up and washed already. So you can just pick it up, eat it for salad or just cook it straight away. It's very nice, beautiful, beautiful spinach. Look at that spinach. Little tiny spinach, little tiny ones. So put them inside the sauce. That will ensure that everybody gets some greens. That's the way to get some greens into the food. Yeah. Just throw them in there. And they don't need to cook for very long actually, yeah? You just mix them and soon, you know, they'll just like go into the sauce. And they'll melt kind of. You know, they'll shrink very much inside the sauce. We just cook them just for a little while. I'm still having issues with my coughing, man. So basically, just mix it, and within a few minutes, it's all that water just comes out. Just increase the heat a little bit. Yeah, so it ends up becoming kind of like a spinach and tomato sauce. So that becomes healthier for the kids. And there goes my improvised lid. And it looks like I'm the only one who knows how to operate it. You need to improvise, man. You don't throw things away. You just improvise. Alright, guys. So, now we have the spinach and tomato sauce with rice and chicken and potatoes. Now, that's a balanced diet. Yes. And, of course, fruits. My favorite apples are called Gold and Delicious. They're also in the US, by the way, this Gold and Delicious. Even in Kenya, I believe they're there. And some bananas. Everything is in plastic, which is kind of sad, but yeah, just make sure that you're eating a balanced diet and then you'll always be okay. Okay? Sour. Okay, let's take a look and see whether our food is ready. I think it is actually. I should move this thing from here. I actually have oven gloves, but don't ask me where they are for holding and handling this chicken. Ooh, lovely. Just have to be careful when you're handling it. That's the food, guys. It's ready. Look at the way it's steaming and lovely and yummy. So, that's ready. I can call these guys, but actually I'm not calling anyone. I'm going to serve myself first. See how mbaya I am, you guys. I'm going to serve myself in my little blue bowl. Do you remember I bought these bowls yesterday? Already using them and I love them. So I'm going to serve myself, and me, I like chicken wing. You see chicken wing? A chicken wing and some potatoes, yes. Because by the time the rice is actually warm, I don't know what it will be. Yeah, chicken wing, and I don't like the breast parts. Yeah, that's okay. Get some more potatoes, I like that. Yeah, that's my food, guys. Potatoes and chicken wing. And then these kids, they'll come and serve themselves. I'll call hubby to come and serve the kids. The reason I'm serving myself first is not because I'm selfish. No, I'm not because I'm selfish. Waiting for the rice to actually heat up. I realized that I hadn't heated up the rice. It needs to get hot. So, me, I'll just eat. I'll start eating. Let me taste it so that you guys can see whether I'm enjoying the food or not. Yeah. And I'm not so big on tomato, even if I made the sauce and stuff. Me, I'm a pure Moikoyo still. I like dry food. Strangely, I like to eat dry food. It's a bit white. It doesn't have any green. But when the rice is ready, I'll put a little bit of the sauce on it. So let's sit down. Yep. So now you can see how to make a meal easily and enjoyably. Yeah. Look how nice it looks. I should take a picture. Very nice. Very, very nice. Tasty. Yeah. I normally don't put a lot of salt in the food because of the kids. I don't want them to get used to so much salt because I eat a lot of salt generally. Pretend you didn't see that. Pretend you didn't see me putting all that salt in my food. But salt is life, man. Yeah, so. Lovely. The best thing about this food, what I like most about it, is that there's no added fat. I didn't have to fry it. I don't have to pour a whole bunch of oil in it. I just put the thing there. I didn't add any oil. Did you guys see me adding oil anywhere? The only thing I fried was just the sauce and just a little bit of oil. A little bit. I'm not a big oil woman. I don't like a lot of oil. Even my husband doesn't like a lot of oil. Even in the rice that I make, I don't ever put oil. I don't like to put oil, okay? So I prefer the natural fat. The natural animal fat, that's fine. But additional oil, I really try not to cook with it. I try my best. Try my best. Okay guys, so on that note, I hope you enjoyed my vlog today. Thank you so much for subscribers. For the new subscribers, I've seen you. Thank you very much. Karibuni, welcome to African Queen Mo channel. That is me here. I do random videos. I hope that you're being entertained and I hope I don't offend anyone. If I speak badly about the UK, don't worry about it, because you know, we humans are never satisfied with anything. It's just like that. But if you pick up some things in society that are not good, it's okay to talk about them, because there's no society that's perfect. So the way I see myself is, I am here, like what the pastor said last week to us, is that everybody's actually here to add value. So I hope that I'm going to be able to add value to the society with my positivity, with my bubbly personality, with my happiness. Even if it irritates some people, too bad, you know. But, you know, I'll try my best to always try to be positive. And there's a lady, she's like my work coach. She told me, Maureen, you know what? She said, you know what? Unfortunately, our project is coming to an end, but I really want to continue being friends with you because I really like your personality. You're such an asset to any organization. She has said so many nice things about me. And it's because she said that I'm so positive that it makes her day. Even when she doesn't have work, she still wants to see me. I thought, wow, that's fantastic. This is somebody that I'll continue being friends with, and I'll rope her in, and we'll come up and plan some things for the African community or for the community in general to try to integrate a little bit better. That is something that I know I can do, something I did in America, and I'm sure something I'll continue to do in this society. As long as God gives me breath and life, I'll always try to be a positive force in the society. And I hope you are too, guys. I hope you're also going to be a positive force in your society, wherever you are. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your time. Go up and make yourself a nice chicken roast or fish roast or whatever you want to make. Try it with the way I made it. Oh my God, it's delicious. Very nice. All right, thank you very much, guys. Love you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Mwah.